Well, hi everybody, it's John Elzinga, and welcome back to It's a Great Day to Serve the Lord. And today I want to talk about our ever-present battle with pride, or pridefulness. That it's always there, it's ever-present, it's right there behind us, in us, through us. It seems like it's all the time. And the scripture I'm going to use is Luke chapter 9, verses 46 to 48. But before that, I got to kind of set up the scene here. This is right after, or fairly soon after, Peter, James, and John were chosen by Jesus out of the 12 to come up to the mountaintop with him as he prayed. And as he prayed, they were sleeping, and they're waking up out of their grogginess, and they see Elijah and Moses and Jesus talking, and they're kind of like disoriented and trying to grasp the scene that they're seeing as those three are talking to each other. And then a cloud appears and it kind of disappears, and they come back down the mountain. And shortly after they come back, now mind you, Peter, James, and John were chosen out of the 12. Now the 12 alone are special, right? They're disciples following Jesus. They're the main men, the main guys following Jesus. A lot more are following him, but they're the main ones. And out of those 12, Jesus picks out 3 to go up to the mountaintop with him. So they're already experienced this sense of specialness. And so they come back down the mountain, and then this is so typical in our humanness, right? In Luke chapter 9, 46 to 48, in the Amplified Version, it says this: an argument started among them as to which of them might be the greatest. And in parentheses there, it says surpassing others in esteem and authority. Better, more significant, the favored ones. Which of them might be the greatest in Jesus' mind? But Jesus, knowing what they were thinking in their heart, took a child and had him stand beside him. And he told them, whoever welcomes this child in my name welcomes me. And whoever welcomes me also welcomes him who sent me, my Father. Now get this. For the one who is least among you, that is, the one who is genuinely humble, the one who has a realistic self-view, he is the one who is truly great. Let me say that again. Jesus is saying, for the one who is least among you, that is the one who is genuinely humble, the one with a realistic self-view, he is the one, or she is the one, that is truly great. Boy, I'm telling you, those guys, they get a special experience with Jesus, just the 3 of them, more so than the 12, and yet they want more. They want more significance. They want to be even greater. They want to be acknowledged. They want to have a higher status, a better position. They want to know that everybody else knows how significant they are, how important they are, how special they are. And so they strive for a higher and higher position to be over others. It is so much built in to ourselves. You see, everything within us wants to be special and significant and powerful. We want to be somebody. And in order to be somebody, we have to have some kind of status or higher position than others. We have to be acknowledged and recognized by others that we are higher, that we are better, that we are more significant, that we are more special than they are. That started really right at the beginning, didn't it? This pride that swells within us. That was the sin in the garden. Genesis 3:4, Satan's talking, the serpent's talking to the woman, to Eve, about eating the fruit off of the tree of good and evil, the tree they're not supposed to touch, the fruit that they're supposed to touch. You will not certainly die, said the serpent to the woman, for God knows that when you eat it from your eyes, you eat from it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. It's not enough to be who we are, to be who God created us to be. We want to be like God. You know, one of the things I've learned as I've studied human behavior, as I've studied leadership and taught on leadership over the years, we look for certain traits in people, certain leadership traits, certain traits of significance, certain traits of leadership qualities, certain characteristics. We look for those. And one of the things that I've learned, one of the deceptions about that, it is good and bad. We see somebody and we think of them as their prominent characteristic, their prominent personality trait. That's all of them. That's everything about them is that. When in reality, it's not. When in reality, we are more than one thing. When in reality, we have more than one characteristic. When in reality, we are more than one person. I mean, we might be joyful. We might be one of those people blessed with the gift of joyfulness. Everywhere we see this person, we'd say, now that is a joyful person. We might be serious and intense, just always grinding, always in it, always just grinding on it, just very serious. And we look at that person and say, that's who they are. There's also another trait called humility. And this is really what brought this realization to me. I've known people, I've known leaders. You would say, that is a humble person. That's their prominent, that's their characteristic. That's who they are. They're humble. And then guess what? Every once in a while, the face of pride appears in them. And we get kind of thrown off base. Where'd that come from? It was there all along. It was there all along because pride, our pridefulness, is always trying to serve us, is always trying to recognize us, is always trying to raise us above somebody, compare us to others, make sure that we are better than, more significant than, more important than others. And yet there is a danger lurking within that knack, that want for us, that pridefulness that surges within us. Proverbs 8:13 says, to fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and arrogance, evil behavior, and perverse speech. Proverbs 11:2 says, when pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Proverbs 16:18 says, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit, a prideful spirit before a fall. Pride comes before a fall. If somebody is filled with pride, is swelled up with pride, that pride has captured them, has captured their persona. They just are so prideful they can't get out of it. That's who they are. And guess what? Sooner or later, they're going to fall. Sooner or later, we're going to find out. They're not who they present themselves to be. They're not who we think they are. They're not even who they think they are. They're a person just like you and me who has this thing that swells up within us from time to time called pride. One of the reasons these things, this pridefulness exists and stays the way it is and continues to plague us is denial. Because denial is a form of pride. Denial is right there with it. Because most of the people I know that are filled with pride don't think that they're prideful. They don't think they're proud people. They don't think they're full of pride. They don't think they're arrogant. They may even think they're humble. That's what they call denial. Jeremiah 6:14 says, they dress up the wound of my people as though it were not serious. They put a Band-Aid on it. It's not that bad. Don't worry about it. You got a little bruise there. You got a little wound there. It's not that bad. Peace, peace, they say, when there is no peace. That's denial. Yeah, they might, the prideful leader, the prideful person, might think, it's just confidence. I'm just really good at it. I can't help myself. These people follow me. I'm just so good at it. And believe me, I know people that have actually said that. They don't think it's pride. They think it's confidence. They think it's some form of superiority that they've gained over the years or whatever. It's denial is what that is. Denial resists correction, resists adjustment, because what we do is we soft sell our problems to ourselves and to others. It's not that bad, you know? Yeah, I might have a little speck of pride in me, but I kind of push it aside. No, I'm not really prideful. It's just, nah. We soft sell that. Again, by calling it confidence, by calling it competence, by calling it, something other, than that. I'm just this way. Well, so the question comes, how do we battle our addiction to pridefulness, to pride, to being prideful? How do we compete with that? How do we battle that? And I'm going to give you a 4-step process to overcome your pride, a 4-step process. Step number 1, wake up. Wake up. Acknowledge it. Own it. See who you are for yourself. Look yourself in the mirror. Revelation 3:2 says, wake up, strengthen what remains and is about to die, for I have found your deeds unfinished in the sight of my God. Strengthen the good part of you. But acknowledge this thing called pride in you. Wake up. Own it. That's who you are, really. Step number 2, encourage frankness from somebody or somebodies, a group of somebodies, from people that you trust, people you can count on, people that you can trust with the ability to tell it like it is to you. Point out your rough edges, so to speak, without taking so much offense from it. Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. You need to have somebody in your life, at least somebody, whether it's your spouse or a good friend or an associate at work, that you get together with every once in a while, that you can, the person is willing to point out to you, hey, wait a minute, this is what I see in you. This is what I'm hearing from you. Maybe you better take a look at that. And you do. And that's a good thing. We need to rub up against each other, and yet sometimes what that does is that softens the sharp edges, that softens the bumps in our life, the things that we don't see, the denial that we don't know that we have. Number 1, wake up. Number 2, encourage frankness. And number 3, focus on a healthy humility before God. Focus on God and being humble before Him. 1 Peter 5:6 says, humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that He may lift you up in due time. The number 1 way to overcome denial, to overcome our pridefulness, is to go to God repeatedly, humbly before Him, acknowledging that He created you to be whoever He wants you to be, how He wants you to be, and that you submit yourself to Him, the plan that He has. Number 1, wake up, acknowledge it, own it. Number 2, encourage frankness. Have somebody in your life that you can trust to point things out to you. Number 3, have a healthy sense of humility before God. And number 4, be a servant. Focus on servanthood. Be a servant leader. Matthew 20:28 says, just as the Son of Man, this is Jesus talking, just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give His life as a ransom for many. Jesus, God of the universe, came in human flesh to serve us. And how did He serve us? He took our place. He sacrificed Himself, the ultimate service. He took on our sin, the penalty of our sin. On the cross, He took us to the cross. That's how he served us, and who are we to not follow his way of serving others? Who are we to think we're any more special than him, that we don't need to serve? Have a mentality, have a mindset of serving others, a servant leadership mindset. My friend, what we need to do is wake up, own the problem, get out from underneath the denial, encourage frankness, have somebody or somebodies in your life that can point things out, that can be honest with you. Number 3, focus on a humility before God. And number 4, serve, be a servant leader. And then repeat, repeat, repeat. That's your devotion for this week, and if you have supported this channel, thank you so much. If you'd like to support it, just send me an email at john@johnelzinga.com. I'll send you a link to provide a way to support this channel. Well, God bless you, and remember, it's a great day to serve the Lord.